What's going on, guys? This week I've been driving the 2020 Honda Civic Si. Let's check it out. So this is the 10th generation Honda Civic. I owned an 88 Honda Civic back in high school, and that was the 4th generation, so this thing has been around forever. But I definitely think this is one of the best looking Civics that we've had. So let's take a look around the exterior and check out the design. All right, well, let's start off with the color of this thing. This is the Rally Red color. I think it looks really good, but probably 4 out of every 5 Civics that I saw were in this color. So with the Si, of course, you get the Si badges up front. You also get these aggressive sport bumper. You get the gloss black grille with gloss black treatment around the fog lamps there. The LED headlights here look very stylized, very jeweled. They look really good when they're turned on. Coming around the side, you have very tight angular body lines. And if you can see them, they're very sharp lines here coming from the front fenders all the way back. You do have the handles here with the proximity sensing, so you can push the button to lock it and just put your hand here to unlock. I like the black wheels on here. These are 18-inch alloy wheels with Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. Around the back, you get the C-shaped Civic taillights. I think these look good as well. And they are LED, and you get integrated LED light bars. We also have this body colored spoiler at the top. Definitely not as aggressive as the Type R spoiler, but I definitely like it a lot more than that big Type R spoiler. You do have an aggressively styled rear bumper here, as well as that large center exhaust port. And of course, in the Type R, you get those 3 circle exhaust ports that come out. But this one just has the one large center one, which again, I think I like better than the Type R. And of course, back here, you do get that Civic badge, the Honda badge, and the Si badge. And with that, let's check out the trunk and what you can haul in this thing. So it is a manual trunk. You do have a power button there. And then you do have a really decent size trunk, enough to hide away some Christmas presents and stow a few things of gear. But that is 14.7 cubic feet of storage. Of course, you do have the 60-40 split folding back seats, so you can fold those down and increase that volume greatly. And I really do like the new design of the Civic, and I really like this Si design even more than I like the Type R design. Alright, so under the hood is Honda's 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. It's their Earth Dreams technology engine. This pushes 205 horsepower, 192 foot-pounds of torque with a redline of 6,500 RPMs. And that's matched up to a 6-speed manual transmission, and the manual is your only option in the Si. Alright, well, let's jump inside, take it for a drive, and see what's up with this Si. So the interior in here is pretty nice. I really like these bucket cloth seats with the SI stitching in them. The steering wheel is nice and positioned. I like the leather with the red contrast stitching. My biggest problem about the steering wheel is it's not a flat bottom steering wheel, so getting in and out, I graze my thighs a lot, especially almost right at my pockets, where if I have stuff in my pockets it'll rub coming out. I would like to have a flat bottom steering wheel in something like this. Of course, just because these are bucket sport seats doesn't mean that they're not comfortable. They are comfortable, and they are heated seats, which have helped out a lot in these cold temperatures we've been having here. You also get sport pedals, and yes, those are 3 pedals, and a pretty decent shifter, which we'll talk more about in the drive portion. And this one is equipped with the moonroof. Tech-wise, you have a 7-inch touchscreen display, 450 watt 10 speaker audio system. You have a multi-angle rear view camera, so putting it in reverse will bring up that rear view camera. You also have a side view camera that'll show the lane for your blind spot that can be triggered by a button on the stock, or whenever you put the blinker on to switch lanes. Now, this is pretty annoying if you're not switching lanes, you're just making a turn, especially if you have navigation set and you're doing turn-by-turn navigation. Every time you hit that blinker, your navigation goes away because you get that that camera. You can turn it off by hitting the button, but it doesn't permanently turn it off. It only turns it off for that instance. So every time you hit that thing, you have to hit the button to turn it off as well. It can get kind of annoying, but as you're going down the highway and switching lanes, it does help a lot to make sure that nobody's in that blind spot. Now, every manufacturer now is having these phone apps, and Honda is no different. You have a Honda Link app that you can download to your phone, and you can control little things with your vehicle like starting it and stopping it. You also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integrated, which again, I really love and super easy to use here in this Honda. You also get an electronic parking brake. Push it down to release, pull it up to engage. If you are engaged and you hit the gas enough, it will release on its own once you're into gear. You have a brake hold button here, and that's going to allow the car to hold the brakes for you if you're on an incline, which of course, using a manual transmission, you would normally roll back. This helps for you to not roll back a lot. It's a pretty good lifesaver if you live somewhere where there are a lot of hills and you're trying to save on burning out your clutch. And then of course you got the sport button over here, which we'll play with again once we get to the driving section. You have decent cup holders here and a pretty good storage area, and this thing can push forward for a little bit more rest. Your phone plugs in here, which is routed down below. You do get heated seats here. Nice tactile buttons for the climate control, but you only have a few things. If you want to get to the main climate features, you do have to click in and go to the screen. Sometimes that can be annoying, but it reduces buttons here, so I kind of understand there. So you do have Apple CarPlay integration, and it works just like every other Apple CarPlay. Everything is synced up well. You have your other infotainment buttons here on the side that will take you to the home, your audio. Phone takes you to Apple CarPlay with your phone plugged in. Go back, we'll go back, depending on what menu system you're in. Some other great features that you get here in the Civic is Honda's sensing systems. This includes collision mitigation braking system, road departure mitigation system, lane keeping assist system, and adaptive cruise control. The lane keep assist isn't too intrusive. It will push back, but if you force the steering wheel, you can drive through it. It's about average as far as they go, but I don't rely on them a lot, so it's not a big deal to me. All right, so like I said, the Si is the sporty variant. You do have a manual transmission, so even though it's only a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, this thing can be a lot of fun to drive. It is a comfortable ride. It's a very smooth ride. Your shifts are very direct. I really like the notchiness of the shifter here. It is a very clicky and notchy shift, which I really appreciate in a vehicle at this price. Fuel economy wise, you're looking at about 26 miles per gallon city and 36 miles per gallon highway, which is really good. And we've been averaging 29.7 miles to the gallon during our entire week of driving this Civic Si. And of course, on its own, it's already pretty sporty and fun, but you do have this sport button, which adds a little bit extra. Let's see what we think with it in sport mode. Yeah, it definitely adds that just a bit extra, and the exhaust sounds a lot better with it in sport mode. I can dig it for sure. All right, so let's talk really quickly about the price and comparison and different trim levels here that you can get with the Civic. Now, the standard Civic comes in a few different trim levels. You have the LX, the Sport, the EX, the EXL, and the Touring. And then you can jump into this one. This is the SI, which is one of their sporty variants. And of course, you have that Type R for their top of the line sport variant of the Civic. The base MSRP for an SI is $25,000. The one we're sitting in with destination charges and everything is $26,130. So with the performance that you get with this, the size that it is, I think that's a pretty good deal. Probably one of the better deals if you're looking for a sport sedan on the market. 5 or so years ago, I definitely would have not recommended the SI, but today I really like it. If you are looking at the competition, you can look at the Honda Elantra Sport, which isn't quite as sporty as this, but is a nice vehicle. You also have the Honda Veloster with the inline. I haven't driven it yet, but that thing looks pretty amazing and I've heard really good stuff about it. You also have the Kia Forte with the Forte GT and the Volkswagen Jetta GLI or Golf GTI. Now the GTI is more expensive than this, but also more performant. And of course, you could have said something like the Focus ST or RS, but those aren't being produced for 2020, so they're out of the conversation now. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Civic Si. And as always, thanks for watching.